Okay, to do the traditional tulip, which is actually a fun little flower, and it's 3D. You start with a, geez, I always forget what these bases are called. The triangle one. It'll come to me, but hopefully by the time I'm done folding it. So you want to fold it so that when you do the diagonals, the colored part is on the outside. So I just color this a little bit with colored pencil so you can tell that this is the outside and this is the inside. Water bomb base. I told you I would think of it. So then you fold it in half along the diagonal in both directions. And then you fold it in half so that the white side is out at the sides. Take the middle of the sides, you fold it down to the center, and then the top part will come. So you bring the middle of the top side and bring that down. And then you have your water bomb base. And it's a triangle. And the bottom part of one side and fold it up to the top point. And you do that on all four. So you do the two on this side, look like this. Flip it over and do the two on this side. You have a line going down the center. Then, when you fold this top flap over to the side, you still have the line, but all that is a crease. It's still one continuous piece of paper. So make sure you have that on both sides, and that these points that you just pointed up are still pointing up. That's important. Take this side and fold it down to the center, like that. So a lot of these flowers have very similar steps. You just have to make sure you're doing them all in the right order. A lot of it's just taking from the outside and folding into the center. And repeat. Okay, to have the corners come in a little bit past center. It's not essential, but it's okay if you have like the top part splayed out a little bit, because this next step is putting one of these little flaps into the other. So what you do is you make one of them a pocket and one of them the tip. Then you put the tip into the pocket, and you're gonna have to finagle it and like fold it a little bit to get it to stick in. And then you want to stick it in as much as possible. As you can see, doing that will force this top part to splay out a little bit anyway, so there's no reason to take like an insane amount of care in doing that. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Put the tip, and the way I make it a little bit easier on myself is, see where the tip side, I give it a little bend there, so it makes it a little bend there, and then a little bend here, and then it'll make it easier to reach in there into the pocket, and then push it as far into the pocket as possible. Then it'll hold itself together pretty well. Now this is the fun part, and also where things can go the most wrong, of course, because that's how life is, right? So you kind of have these two things that are just pushed together, the two sides. So it makes kind of like an 8, or the infinity symbol. So see that, and be sure to hold these together when you do this next step. So you'll see on the top you have the little leaves, or the petals that I was talking about before that splayed apart. And on the bottom you'll see is a little tiny hole. And that hole will go straight to the center of the paper. So inside of that hole is completely white paper, if you think about it that way. It's all the inside of the paper. Then what you want to do is taking care to keeping these edges together. So you can do that by holding your fingers just like this, and you can even pinch them together like that. You want to blow into that hole And as you can see, it puffs it up. You'll see on the side that they're not sharp anymore, but it still has that shape. And that's important, because if you don't keep that shape and it just gets completely flattened out, you see how the sides come apart like that? Let it maintain its shape like that. You can still kind of see the X, but it's not as sharp as it was before. So now you kind of have like this bulb part. And then I still don't have a pencil, so you would take a pencil and pull these off and curl them a little bit. But actually these are a lot easier to curl with your fingers because they're bigger. So you can pull them down, and you pull them down about halfway from the top to that fold. So about a quarter of the way from the top to the bottom of the project. And there should be 4 if you did everything right. There will be 4 little petals from the top to fold down. So that's the finished product. It has like a little thing coming out in the middle, and then the 4 petals coming out the sides. Alright, stay tuned for more flowers.